Hey everybody, welcome to Stitching Time. I am Boise. I'm glad you had a chance to swing by, stop by, say hello, let me know what's going on. Always appreciate it. I like the comments that are starting to come in and the connections that we're starting to make locally, and someone new outside the city, the big city of Houston. We love it. Thank you. Keep them coming. Once again, we're going to start off with, you know the deal, happiness. One day at a time. We're going to talk about today, June 17th, the ties of communication. We were talking before about connecting with people. We're going to always be talking about connecting with people, engaging with people. More importantly, disengaging too. That's the other side of the equation, isn't it? Anyways, June 17th, the ties of communication. I can establish or break the ties of communication. I must not be passive with regard to the phenomenon of communication. I choose to communicate or I choose to be silent. I have a choice to receive the communication or not receive it. I am responsible for the type of communication I have or do not have with others. You are responsible. It's your duty. This may seem a bit simplistic, but it is a fundamental truth. I am free to communicate or not communicate. And remember, that's key. The power is in your hands. It really is. At times, for a number of different reasons, I do not want to receive communication. It is my right. And it is. You can close the door. You can recharge our batteries. We stay at home sometimes and don't answer the phone and reach out to people. There's a reason why we do that. And all of us have different reasons, but a lot of times it's just recharging. Too much information can overwhelm us as well. And others, it's my right. And others, I want to communicate. This is also my right in the same way. I may not want to establish ties of communication with other people. You might not want to. If so, I am entirely free to break those ties. Today I decide whether or not I want to establish ties of communication. And if I want to, I can break ties when the If I want to, I can break ties when the communication they bring to me does not contribute to my well-being. Wow, speech impediment. Sometimes people are bringing information that isn't good enough for you, isn't something you should be involved with. Oftentimes it can be just like gossip. Human nature is to gossip and talk about other people. And when you're in the program, you know that people have spoke about you. And you know that some of it was not very flattering, not very good at all. I still have horror stories. 30 years later, I have family members that are like, I remember the time. And almost at that point, you're thinking, you're saying this because you want to give me a kick or a jab. At this point, it seems kind of awkward. But I'll let them do what they want to do. I choose not to communicate with them and argue with it. And oftentimes don't see them again. I just avoid them because it's like being a drug addict and a drunk and then being sober is a lot, I guess, here's a metaphor. You're a prostitute. And then you get into religion and you become a great member in your church. 20, 30 years later, a family member who knows you sits back and says, yeah, but I remember the time when Leslie was a whore. She was a hooker downtown New Orleans. Tree don't fall far from the apple. Yeah, there you go. Okay. You're going to get family members like that. They're usually the worst. Talking about it. Choose not to communicate with them. Do not engage with them. There's no sense arguing. You can't argue with stupid anyways because you're going to find out that it's just going to frustrate you, irritate you, infuriate you, and maybe even worse, do something to your sobriety. You certainly don't want that. I've experienced stuff like that. You're going to experience stuff like that. I can laugh about it now with 30 years under my belt, but I can tell you right now it was very hurtful and very painful when I would tell people something and their communication was, what, for a week? You've been sober 7 days? Big deal. You probably just didn't have the money to go buy anything. Probably true in some cases. But I was trying to flip that into a positive thing, like I'm moving forward. You might have other people that every 15 days, and hey, I've been sober 15 days, and then you don't hear them on Facebook for another month, and hey, and I'm sober 9 days. Like, wait, the math doesn't add up. What, it's that kind of thing. Sometimes we say things and then move on like, I didn't see my words, it's out in the ether, now I can travel and say it again or do it again. And Facebook and media like that keeps it up, posted, people are actually reading, people are actually following you. They're going to wonder where the progress is. People want to see progression. You want to see a progressive progress in yourself as well. And that's the whole key to it. Where are we at that point? When you're making announcements to people through your communication, they're listening, they're engaged. They may, like some people are sending comments to the web page and asking questions. Some haven't yet, some will. There are questions out there. And they're probably going to be very similar questions to what I had with myself. Oh God, I've heard this one 1,000 times. It's for an individual. It's unique to them. It's their first time at the crossroads. And I am honored to be one of the people that can say, I would like to sit down and talk with you. I would like to share something with you. I would like to listen to your story. I would like to communicate, and please communicate with me what you need from another individual, whether it be just a bit of encouragement, advice, just help me shine some light in all these shadows. I don't know which way to turn. The more sober you are, the more light there is, and the more, it's less difficult to see. You can see where you're going. It's less difficult to sort it out because you can see a path, you can start seeing a direction, you start heading towards it. Just like a train taking off at a certain time, if you're not on there on time, you're going to be left behind. You're the one that's going to be the person that's left at the platform station. You're the one that's going to be left out there, and it moves on without you, and you have to be aware of those things. Those things are going to happen, and it's just one of those things where you're going to leave people behind. You may choose to not communicate with them anymore, and you may just drop them out of your life completely. They may come and go. They may not understand sobriety. They may not understand what you're going through. They may figure it's just a phase you're going through, and you're going to come out of it again and join us at the party, and everything is going to be just fine. And that's really not the case, but that's how some people think sobriety is geared to be. It'll teach you how to drink. Well, that's not the case either. It teaches you not to drink and how to adjust yourself socially. In America, the craziest thing is that we socialize around alcohol, everything we do. Whether it's a football game, a birthday game, a bar mitzvah, it doesn't matter. There's alcohol involved. Weddings, funerals, alcohol is involved. Graduation, alcohol is involved. A birth, alcohol is involved. Alcohol is everywhere. I was bartending when I was sober, and they were saying, you can't do that. So what do you mean? Temptation's all around you. My attitude was that temptation's always there. When I was raised living in Gary New Duluth, out on 101st Avenue, there was a liquor store and a video store right kitty corner through the alley. If I chose, I could throw my keys in the freezer, walk over there, get a drink, and just get drunk at home and get high. And if I didn't drive, no one would know. If I didn't fail a test with the probation officer, I never tried that stuff, but it was available to me. Temptation's all around. I've told other people that good luck watching a football game. The best commercials are the beer commercials. And you know that's true. Oftentimes the worst things for us are the best commercials on TV. Take that little bit of communication with you the next time you're watching TV, a little bit of homework. The very same stuff you probably should stay away from. Looks so tempting and so tantalizing on television. It's like, why can't I have some? And that's the whole thing. That's the part of marketing. That's the communication. Marketing is communication too. Learn to cut those things off. Learn what they are for what they are. Don't let them grab you by the ring in your nose and drag you right down to the stockyard, because you're going to end up butchered in cutlets, and you'll be just history. You don't want to follow those type of paths, so there are communications you need to break off. There's going to be friends and even family members, blood family members, that you're not going to see or hear from or not want to be engaged with anymore because you're sober and they're not. And that's all right, because that's your decision. Besides that, all they're going to spin tales about, I remember when he was so drunk, I remember when he did this. As a matter of fact, you're the one that taught me how to drink. Cheers. Wasn't for you, I wouldn't be drinking beer right now. The only difference is I haven't gotten any DUIs and I haven't crashed my car. Bravo, you're one of the lucky ones. Those of us who have issues, those are the ones that get marginalized, pushed to the side by society, pushed to the side by authority, and say, hey, you're going to go to jail. Hey, you have a fine. Hey, you're going to be on probation. Hey, we are going to treat you like a criminal. And that's your rock bottom. That's your motivation. That's not even a warning sign. But some of us continue on like, oh, I was just done one deal. Could have happened to anybody. Yeah, and then I got another one later. But then again, I don't think the traffic light was really set right, and they just happened to get lucky, and I happened to have a couple beers, and they caught me again. Well, the third time, maybe I could confess to that or own up to it, but I should only be one, not three, but they're going to throw three at me now. Now they're making me seem like some kind of criminal. If that's the communication you're sending out to other people, the answer is you already know you're in trouble. You're just trying to cover your tracks. You're trying to readjust, get ready for the fall. Communication is important. Communication is what it's all about. We're communicating now about that. We expect you to communicate with us about it and share us some of your stories as well. Like I say, reaching out to people. Communication is like rock and roll. Communication Breakdown by Led Zeppelin, right? Communication breakdown. It's always the same, having a nervous breakdown. Drive me insane. There's the chorus. Pretty simplistic, but if you're the one behind the wheel, you know exactly what we're talking about. You know exactly what you're going through. It's real. It's there. And you should acknowledge it. You should break away with some of the bad communication that people that are still using them. Hey, man, I don't think you ever had a problem, really. Yeah, it was more the alcohol. Here, yeah. No, it's all right, man. It'll mellow you out. Take the edge off, you know. That's what it's all about. That's all you've been trying to do in your program anyways, right? Could be your brother. You may want to cut that tie. Or at least say to him, look, if you keep doing that, we're going to have to part ways. I'm not telling you have to be sober like me, but I'm telling you that you don't put that in my face anymore. We're not doing that anymore. I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to become that guy or girl again. I don't want to be that monster. I want to be a functioning human being that actually can communicate with other people, reach out, and connect with others. That's the main thing. That's really what it's all about. Communication. So please make sure you communicate with us. Drop us a line on the web page. Say howdy, how you doing? We want to hear some good stories. We want to hear horror stories too. We want to hear about your scrapes, your bumps, your broken bones, and all the negative impact that you created as you crawled out of your own personal wreckage. Because we all have that. We've all crawled from wreckage. So drop us a line. Let us know how it's going. And thank you for joining us on Stitch in Time. And like I'm fond of saying, Peace and love. Peace and love. We'll see you again next time. Thank you.